powers were not a gift from the wizards, but a curse. Born out of rage.
What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at a DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Black Adam. And as you can see here in the package, it is the rock version of Black Adam. It looks like he comes with some cool electrical effects, a figure stand, and a card in the back. As we turn around to this side, we got Black Adam, Black Adam. Let's just say it twice, right? And then on the back, we've got this really cool artwork of The Rock as Black Adam. A really good likeness in this little cartoon picture we have here. And then as we turn to this side, we've just got the tiny window with Black Adam yet again. So I did find this guy at Ross Toy Store. As you can see here, he was the awesome price of $4.99, which is actually a little expensive. A lot of the times their action figures are $2.99, $3.99, and $4.99. So not a bad deal, especially compared to the original price that he came at when he was in the store. So don't forget to check your Ross's, TJ Maxx's, Burlington Coat Factories, Marshalls, and places like that, because you will find these characters every now and then. And he was one that I did not pick up, kind of doing the long game on, and then we ended up finding him at Ross. So it was just a deal, a steal of a deal that we couldn't pass up. So let's go ahead and get him pulled out of the box and take a closer look. Alright, so we get a closer look here of his card and his figure stand. We'll go ahead and get those pulled out in a little bit, and we will go ahead and zoom in so you can take a better look at the card and the little bio on the back of the card. As far as Black Adam himself, it looks like he does have a few bands, maybe just a waistband on. These seem to be taped in. Let's just go ahead and give this just a little clip. Get that tape pulled back. And the electric effects we can pull right out. So no bands on the electric effects. Let's go ahead and get this waistband. And his head's tucked way up in there, so we'll start with the feet. All right. Very loose in this arm here, very loose. Let's see if we can get him posed up. There he is, posed up without his figure stand. Again, really good likeness. The head sculpt on this is amazing. We'll go ahead and try to zoom in so you can get a really good look at that face on the Rock. Oh my goodness, this is like one of the most accurate face recognitions that I've ever seen. Face sculpts. Just look at that. That looks like The Rock. I feel like I'm super impressed with what they did here. It couldn't have came out any better as far as making a copy of The Rock from the Black Adam. It just worked. So let's go ahead and get his accessories put on him. We'll pull his figure stand out and his card and take a closer look. Alright, so here he is pulled out of the box. We've got his electric accessories in his hand, his figure stand attached to his foot. And again, this guy stood really well. I didn't even need the figure stand. He was doing a really good job standing on his own with the effects in his hands as well as without. He just seems to be a pretty stable guy. Maybe he's got a little wider feet. His arm joints are loose, but his ankle joints are pretty good. And it just holds him up there really nice. Before we go over his articulation, we're going to take a look at his card and read the little bio on the back. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that in case you want to pause it and read it yourself. But let's go ahead and get to that. So here we have the picture on the front of the card. Again, looking really good, looking really like The Rock. They did a... I'm sorry, I don't even see Black Adam. All I see is The Rock when I look at this action figure, and it's pretty much like that in most movies. He's just The Rock. He's always Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I can't really look at him like anybody else. He was just The Rock for so long. That's who he's always going to be to me. As we turn the card around, we'll try to get that so you can see it, and I'll zoom in really good if I can. It says, real name, Teth Adam. Hailed as the slave who became champion, the mortal Teth Adam was bestowed the powers of the gods, transforming into a fearsome superpowered being at the utterance of a single magic word, Shazam. He freed his people from the king of Kahndaq before grief over the loss of his family turned to cold fury, and he was entombed for his vengeful actions. Nearly 5,000 years later, Black Adam is freed from his slumber and finds himself in a world he does not recognize. Now he must try to see himself not as Kahndaq's destroyer, but its savior. So pretty cool, pretty interesting right there. We do have these top-loading sleeves, and I recommend putting your cards in here. You can find these at Target, Walmart, any place that cards or comic books, things like that are sold, and your card will just slide right in the top. Give it a little tap and it'll hit the bottom there. It just keeps the card from getting creased, dog-eared, spilled, stained up, things like that. If you don't really care about the card and you want to just pitch it, that's fine too. I've just developed a nice little stack of these, and I like keeping them in as good a shape as possible. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Black Adam here and go over his articulation and our final thoughts on him. So, as you can see, we have him looking to the left. Again, I just can't get over this face sculpt, but he can look to the left. He can look to the right. He can do the full 360 if that's what you want to do. We are going to remove these. They just kind of thread on there, screw on, or you can probably just shove them, but I found that they threaded up his arm really nice. So we do have the joint here, which allows him to get pretty good movement, and you can move that around, so it will work out several different ways. The articulation's really good in this guy. He does have a bicep swivel here, as well as a double jointed pinned elbow. He does have a swivel. Ooh, he doesn't have, yes he does. It's that's stiff. That's the stiffest joint on here. So he's got swivel in his wrist, and he can bend forward as well as back out like that, just for different posing purposes, how you may or may not need to have him. His diaphragm cut is here, and you can see the bottom of the lightning bolt is not attached, and that allows him to really lean back or forward without that hindering him in any way. He can also lean to the left and right. He's a party boy. He can move it and shake it all around. When it comes to his waist, he does have a completely separate waist, which also spins 360 degrees. Let's pull this figure stand off, which is snug into the peg hole in the bottom of his foot. No complaints about that. He does a pretty good split. You can see some of his belt and lower armor or belt attachments here kind of get caught up when you lift his leg up, and that's just going to prevent him from getting a little bit higher. We can't go a little higher on this side over here just because it doesn't have that hang down. We do not have a thigh cut, so no rotation in the thigh, but we do have a nice double jointed pinned knee, and it's a stiff pinned knee. Let's see if we can get that top joint to bend. Sometimes it works best if you heat these fellas up first. That top joint's not wanting to bend. Let's try this side. Now this side, the top joint's bending good, and so is the bottom. So we just need to apply a little bit of heat or warm water. Give him a little warm water bath, and it should break this top joint here loose. I really like to get them working on the video, but that's a stiff joint right there, and I'm gonna have to heat it up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. As we come down his legs, he does not have a boot cut. Another surprise, but he does have a ankle swivel, so you can swivel the ankle all around as well as point it up and point it down. And then he does also have the boot cut or toe cut in his boot that will allow you to articulate the toe up and down. So all cool features in this Black Adam. Really digging him. Even though he's The Rock and he will always be The Rock to me, Cool figure, and I can't appreciate all of the great detail that they got in the Rock's head. I realize he has a smooth head, no hair, but that's just a killer face sculpt there. They did a really good job. Really impressed. Maybe I'm just easily impressed. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get him set back up on the figure stand here. And we'll just kind of pose him up. And there we have Black Adam. Final thoughts, he's great. His face sculpt is great. The texture in his outfit is great. I love the way that they put this little highlight mark in the lightning bolt. Just kind of gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. And all the textures in his pants and his boots all come together to form a really nice figure. So I give this guy 2 thumbs up. I feel like they did a super great job on this sculpt, even though it is and always will be The Rock. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to tell someone you love them. Hit that like button, turn the subscriptions on, turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of the videos coming up in the future. All these guys that you see in the background have already been reviewed on the channel. So if you want to check out any of those, just go ahead and click on a playlist category. We got a DC category. We've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle category. We've got a wrestling category as well as a Masters of the Universe category. So we've got a little bit of something for just about everybody. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a blessed day.